right? When you pickle it, this word here, you use a lot of salt, right? And you make it so that it won't go bad, it won't spoil. Does paocai ever spoil? Does it ever go bad? I mean, that's why you have it with tofu, right? Tofu is also pickled. Why? So it doesn't go bad. So there's a lot of food that we prepare this way so that it can stay fresh, right? We don't need to eat it all today. We can save it for next year, right? But also, if we put a lot of salt in something, then it won't spoil, right? Like a lot of dry meat. If you take the meat and you dry it out, you can use salt to make sure it doesn't go bad. Often with fish, there's a lot of fish that's really salty so that it doesn't go bad. Or, what else can we use? Do you ever put something on your bread? You know when you have white bread and you put like fruit on it? It's like a sauce and it's really sweet. Why do we make that? We call it jam, we have other names for it, but we put this sugar in with the fruit, and the fruit gets a bit drier, and it kind of, the juice all gets very dry. Why do we do that? Same reason, right? That's why honey is so healthy. Well, it's not why it's healthy, but that's why honey will never spoil. If you have honey, you know honey, right? It will never go bad because there's so much sugar, no germs can live in it. So it's a safe food. You never have to put it in the fridge because the germs can't live there. Okay? So we have things like salt and sugar that we put into food to make them last longer. But something else that happens a lot is if we put salt and sugar in, it takes the water out, right? The problem with food is there's always water in the food. If there's water, that means germs can live there, right? And then the food spoils, it goes bad. So if we can take all the water out, then the food will last forever. So, what is toast? Toast 有什么意思？ Toast 跟 toast 不一样。Yeah. What color is toast? Toast is never white. Bread can be white. Bread, you bake it one time, right? But bread, actually I picked some up this morning, bread is still soft, right? And that's because there's still a lot of water. So what you do is you take the bread and you cook it a second time. You cook it a second time to take the water out so that it doesn't go bad, it won't spoil. So that's what toast is. Toast actually means it has been cooked a second time. That's why toast is never white. 台湾的吐司跟 toast 不一样，因为吐司都是白色的 right? So, it's one of those one of those translation mistakes. Toast is never white because you have to cook it a second time to be toast. That's why it's hard. Okay, but what about ginger? Ginger is good for you. It helps keep you healthy because germs don't like it. So ginger is one of those things we put in food to help keep it from going bad. So one of the traditions with gingerbread, it's one of the kinds of food that we made that would be able to last for a long time. When people used to travel from one place to another place, and they didn't have a store every, there's no 7-Eleven, no OK. They have to travel from here to there. Maybe it takes them a month to walk, right? They have to bring their food with them. But if you bring fresh fruit, if you bring fresh food, then it will go bad. So you have to bring things that are pickled, or things like honey, or things that are dry, they have no water, or things like gingerbread. Yeah. Gingerbread, biscuits. This actually has exactly that meaning. Biscuit means cooked a second time. That's what the word literally means. So a biscuit should be dry. So when we have this tradition of, say, things like gingerbread or biscuits, it's because of what people did with their lives. When people lived in the past, they needed to be able to travel and bring food with them. So a lot of our traditional food here comes from that. And then gingerbread also, you can make it sweet. You can prepare it early, and it will last a long time. So that means you can make the gingerbread before Christmas, and you can do fun things with it, like build a house. So you guys know about the gingerbread house? Have you ever seen a gingerbread house? Yeah? Have you girls seen one? 有看过吗? The gingerbread house? I can show you a picture of one if you're... It's a neat tradition that we have, and it's very distinctive. Yeah. Yeah, but not any cookie. It's supposed to be gingerbread. Not any kind of cookie. It has to be gingerbread, because the ginger helps to keep it so it will last longer. If you make this with regular cookies, then after 2 days, you can't really eat it anymore, right? So, we have these traditions, and if you want to understand why, again, you just have to go back to who celebrated these traditions. So when we talk about, Pao Cai, there's a reason why people have it, right? Same thing with Tuo Doufu. And when you celebrate in Chinese New Year with dumplings, there's a reason why. Okay, so Christmas, what else do we have at Christmas? We sing songs, right? Why do we sing songs?
See that in
But why do we sing our songs at Christmas?
because Jesus.
Right. Again, it's a celebration. We use this word a lot when we talk about Christmas because the whole idea behind Jesus' birth is that we have a chance to live, right? That's where all of these traditions come from. It's what makes us happy. In Chinese New Year, you kind of celebrate that you lived for one more year, right? All of the gifts about luck are the idea, the tradition is I hope you live one more year. That's where those traditions come from. It's not about life after you die, it's about right now. You know, Chinese New Year is the new year. We lived one more year. Everybody is happy. I give you these things to make you lucky so that you can live one more year. That's where all of those traditions come from. And it's not just Chinese New Year. A lot of cultures have the same tradition. They celebrate every year because we lived one more year. Right? What's that about? Okay. But the Christmas tradition is not like those because we're not worried about this year. When we celebrate, what we're happy about is that after we die, we have a chance to live.